Hello class, welcome to our maths class today. Today we'll be looking at unit 14 and we will look at a different aspect of taking measurements, okay? So today we'll be looking at area and that of perimeter. So first of all, we need to understand what a perimeter is and then what an area is before we go ahead to do some calculations about perimeter and that of an area. Okay, so a perimeter is, the perimeter of a shape is the distance all around the edge. So what is the edge? So these are the edges, okay, the sides of your shape. So all around means that we are considering every line that comes together for us to have this shape. So how many lines do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 lines coming all together to form this rectangle. Now we know that this side is 5 centimeters and then we have this side to be 3 centimeters. That means opposites of this one is this line. So it means that this distance here is the same as this distance, or the length of this line is the same as the length of this very line. So if this side is 3 centimeters, it means this side is also going to be 3 centimeters. If here is 5, it means that this line is also going to be 5 centimeters, okay? So we need to add all the lines together and then that will give us our perimeter, okay? So these are the outside lines, all the lines put together give us our perimeter. Now in the case of the area is the amount of space inside the boundary, okay? So when you look at this shape and this particular shape as well, the space that you see here, the total amount of space that you see here is what we call the area, okay? It's the space within the boundaries of either a 2D object or a surface of a 3D object, okay? So that means you're going to have a drawing like this or like that. It could be a square, it could be a rectangle, it could be a triangle, or it could be a circle, any surface of a 3D shape. So now we have understood what is the meaning between a perimeter and that of an area. So the next thing that we have to do is how we can calculate these two different items or these two different things. Now first we will start with perimeter, okay? So we know that perimeter is the distance all around the edges. That means we are talking about the lines, okay? So we have 5 here, 3 here. That means here will also be 5 and then this side will also be 3, okay? So we're going to have 5 plus this 3 plus the 5 here plus the 3 here, okay? So this is what we're going to have. Okay, so 5 plus 3 will give us 8 and this will also give us 8. So our final answer is going to be 16 centimeters. So this is going to be our perimeter. So we can write perimeter there nicely. So that is our perimeter. It is basically all the lines, 4 lines, the length of the 4 lines put together, that will give you your perimeter. Now we look at what an area is. An area is the space within the boundary, okay? So we have 4 lines here and then this is the space that we have here. So this is what we're going to look for as the area. Now the area, to look for an area, we need to multiply the length times that of the breadth, okay? So if we are multiplying the length times the breadth, we say that area is equal to 4 times 4. Okay, so don't forget that we are also multiplying the centimeters as well. So we're going to have 16 centimeter square. Okay, so it's going to give us 16 centimeter square. Again, if we also want to find the area of this one, we write area. So we need to multiply that side by that side. Okay, so that will be 5 times 3, and that will be equal to 15 centimeters square. Okay, so you multiply your length by your breadth, and that will give you this. The difference here between the perimeter and that of the area is measured in a square, and then this is measured just in centimeters. Okay, so let's look at this particular one as well. So we look for perimeter. Okay, so we look for perimeter. So we need to add our 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5. So these two give us 15 and this will give us 15. So we have 30 cm. Okay. If you are looking for the area, we need to multiply that side by that side. Okay. So we say area is equal to 10 times 5, and that will give us 50 centimeters square. Okay, so don't forget your square when you are doing the area, but in the case of the perimeter, you just write whatever units of measurements or length that you have there straight away, and then you are done. Okay, so now we move to our first activity. That will be task 1, and you open at pages 54 and that of 55 from the Skills Builder section. We are working on questions 1 to that of 4. After we complete that, we meet in our second video. Hello students, welcome back to our second video. On this video, we will still continue how to calculate an area and that of a perimeter as well. Okay, so in the first place, we remember that a perimeter is actually the distance or around the edge of a shape, and then an area is also the amount of space that we find inside the boundary of a 2D shape or that of a 3D shape as well. Okay, so we have 2 questions here that we need to go through. First, we need to find the area and the perimeter of these 2 shapes. So what we're going to do is that basically we're supposed to start with question 1, but I just want to go through question 2 first, and then we go to 1 because 1 will kind of need a bit of explanation. Okay, so let's start with our 1. That's what we are used to. So first, we know that our perimeter is equal to all the lines. So we have 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5. Okay, so always you need to group your numbers so that it becomes very easy for you to do your calculations. Okay, so 7 and 5 will give you 12. So 7 and 5 will also give you 12. So 12 plus 12 will give you 24. Don't forget to bring your cm. Okay, so this will be our perimeter. Okay, now let's go to our area. So area means that we are looking at the space here. Okay, and to find the space we need to multiply that of the length plus the breadth. So that will be 7 times 5, and that will give us 35 centimeter square. So this is for our question 2. Now let's go to the one that is a bit complicated, okay, so that we can have enough time to go through for you to catch it well. So this looks like two objects or two shapes put together, okay, because you have a small one here and then you have a big one here. Okay, the first thing that we need to do is we need to understand the kind of shape that we have and know the actual measurements that we have there. So we kind of don't know this side, and then there's a little portion that we also kind of don't know. But if we look at the opposite side of each, it will help us to find the correct measurements of those areas. So we know that this side is 6. That means if we extend these two to join this one, it should be equal to the length here. So if this place is 2, it means we need to have 4 here, right? The same way, from this distance to this point is 10 centimeters, okay? So our unit of calculation is in centimeters. Okay, so we have 4 centimeters. So that means if we pull this line down to come and join the 7 and meet this one, we're going to have 10 in whole. So here is also going to be 3 centimeters. Now, per what we have done, we can easily see all the length of the areas. So it will be very easy for us to look for the perimeter, okay? Okay, so our perimeter will be equal to, we need to start from 10 plus 4 plus 3 plus this 2 and then plus this 7. Okay, so we don't have space here, so we continue here, okay? Plus 6 here. Okay, so we need to add all these things together. That will give us our perimeter. Now, because the numbers are quite long, what we can do is that we can kind of group them so that it becomes very easy for everyone to do the calculation, okay? So maybe we can fix our 6 here. So it's going to be 7 plus 6. Okay, it's fixed there. So 10 is a big number, which is very easy for us to go through. So if we're going through, it's going to be 10, 14, 17, 19, and then 26, and then 32. Okay, so that will be our answer for the perimeter, okay? We go through again. So 10 plus this will give us 14, plus this will give us 17, will give us 19, will give us 26, and then plus this will give us 32. So we are correct there. Now the next thing that we need to do is to look for the area. Now to look for the area of this object or this shape, what you need to do is that you need to close, we need to close this side, okay? So we need to close here like that. So when we close here, it means that we're going to have a kind of a small rectangle here, and then we kind of going to have another shape over here. So we're going to have two shapes. So we can name this shape as A and then name here as B. So first we need to find the area of A. Okay, so the area of A is going to be, so we say we still represent this with area, okay? So area of this is going to be 10 multiplied by 6, and that will give us 60 centimeters square. So that will be our area. Now we need to look for the area of B. So the area of B, so we write our B here, and then we say, we know that this side is 3, so it becomes 3 multiplied by 4, okay? And that will be equal to 12. Don't forget your centimeters square. Now we have the area of A and B. So we can say our area, is equal to A plus B. So that will be 60 plus 12 and equal to 72 centimeter square. So this is how you can do your calculation whenever you have a kind of objects that are in two joined together, okay? You need to separate them, work on the first one first, and then you work on the second one, and then you put it together, and that will give you the total area of the shape that you're working on. We're going to have our second activity, or task 2, on this particular exercise, looking for the area in perimeter. That will give you more insight to understand it also better. Okay, so that will be posted to you, and afterwards we'll meet in our last video. Students, welcome back to our last video on our lesson, area and that of a perimeter. This has been part of our units on measuring. So we have studied today that perimeter means that we are considering all the outside lines forming up a shape, okay? So that means if you are working on a rectangle, you are looking at 4 lines. If you are working on a triangle, you look at 3 lines. And then we also looked at the difference between how to work on that of a square and that of a rectangle shapes. Again, we looked at area as the amount of space within the boundaries of a flat shape. That could be a 2D shape or could be a surface of a 3D shape as well. We looked at a composite shape. That means composite shapes are shapes that comes in a form of more than one. That looks like this, and whenever you have a composite shapes, it means that you have to separate or you have to divide into 2 or according to the number of shapes that you have, and then you look for the areas of the various parts and then you put them together as we did in our clip 2. The usual way of finding an area for a flat surface 2D is multiplying your length times that of your breadth, and then you get your answer. It is measured in square centimeters or square meters. So whenever you are doing with your unit, you don't forget to put your square units there. That makes your answer more complete. You have your homework being posted to you as you finish watching this video, and we'll meet again next week. Goodbye.